There is no reason I should be reading articles like this about the Ford Mustang. I know I don't normally cover the Ford Mustang, but this is quite funny. The Ford Mustang just had its worst sales year ever, literally in the exact same year that the Challenger, the Charger, and the Camaro all get discontinued. This is how bad Ford is doing since the whole field of competition has left. And now you read above my head right here, you see the Ford says that the Mustang is priced just right, despite record low sales. Someone is living in a delusion. Someone's living in fantasy land. So I want to cover this in this video because I think Ford is If you've been watching my channel for the last couple of years, you know I love a good deal. Whether it's saving $1,000 on Ram TRXs or Hellcats or helping you guys save money on your Demon 170s from all these dealer shenanigans, I love good deals. And there's no better deal that I can figure out online than with my buddies at JustBought-Ons and DragRacingWheels.com, where you can use my promo code BUTTER at checkout to save up to an additional 15% off on your next order. So check out my friends at JustBought-Ons and DragRacingWheels.com, where some of the best prices online just got a little bit better. The Ford Mustang should have had its best sales year ever, but instead they fumbled the bag just like Stellantis. I think 2024 will be remembered as a year of what not to do as a manufacturer. Stellantis' former CEO Carl Tavares discontinued the Hemi V8, he also discontinued the Challenger and the Charger, and literally every brand within Stellantis is struggling just months with no Hemi engine to carry the brands. GM deletes Camaro rather than extending it one more year to capture Dodge customers. And lastly, my over 38,000 friends and the 69% of you guys not subscribed, Ford failed by capturing customers from Dodge and Chevy because the Challenger, the Charger, and the Camaro are all gone in the exact same year. And looking at the article, how does Ford Mustang do so bad that the Mach-e outsells it? And people hate the Mach-e with a passion. Y'all read that in this article right here. Let me scroll down. Sales figures are coming in and the news is not good for the Ford Mustang. The enduring pony car had just 44,000 buyers last year, officially making it 2024 the worst year for the Mustang sales in its 60-year sales history. Sales have dipped to the point where the electric Mustang Mach-e, shunned by pony car purists as not being a real Mustang, outsold it by over 7,000 units. But we all know why the Mustang Mach-e outsold the regular Mustang. You got government incentives, you got dealers who discount them to get rid of them off the lots, and you have also fleet sales. But even with all that, the new S650 Mustang should have done better. And that is truly in the hands of Ford on why this car is starting to fail. Because for years, I kept hearing the same excuses about people comparing the Mustang to the Challenger, that, oh, you know, they're not the same vehicle. One's a muscle car, one's a pony car. You can't compare sales figure, blah, 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 blah. But the one thing that we can all agree on, the Challenger did not suffer from being the only traditional two-door oversized muscle car. It excelled, and in a lot of years, it outsold the Mustang. It kept selling, like I said, even though the Mustang and the Camaro was in the same market. But what Ford has done, with zero competition left, there's no cars left. No Challenger, no Charger, no Camaro, all gone for a full entire year. Ford has screwed up so bad that even its most hated EV, the Mustang Mach-e, that most people hate that it shares the same name with the Mustang, outsold the traditional Mustang, which it should have never happened in a million years. Because I'm pretty sure that there's no way in the world that Dodge's Charger Daytona EV is going to outsell any version of the regular Charger. Well, maybe, just maybe, it just depends on how people like the new Hurricane Chargers coming out, but I'm pretty sure that's never going to happen. If some of you Ford guys are wondering why a Dodge fanboy like me is even going outside of my own lane to talk about the Mustang, well, I was almost a Ford Mustang owner. Because pretty much 2 years ago, I actually ordered a Dark Horse Mustang fully loaded, and I was going to have that Dark Horse as my daily driver for my Demon 170 that I would bring out on the weekends. But for some reason, Ford kept delaying my Dark Horse order. I guess because all the carbon fiber stuff I put on the car and it was fully loaded or whatever. And I kept getting, emails from Ford that, you know, my car was delayed. I kept getting information from the dealer that my order was still delayed and that they only received like one dark horse. And I want to say, I think I was like number 3 on their list. And now here we go 2 years later, and my fully loaded dark horse never arrived. I never got a call from the dealership. Hey, it got canceled, whatever. Like, so as far as I know, according to the dealer, it's still there in the system, but I think the dealer probably screwed me because I wasn't going to pay over MSRP, but whatever. For right now, I've already done jumped to a different car. I got the C8 Z06, which still isn't my daily driver, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, right? I mean, there's no better way to fail upwards than go from a Ford Mustang to a Z06 as your daily driver. The Z06 is not my daily driver. I'm just joking on that one, but Ford missed out on at least one additional sale to throw a little salt on his wound for this video. I think the #1 issue with the Mustang is the same issue Stellantis is facing, and that is pricing. These manufacturers, Stellantis, Ford, and I'll even throw GM in there because some of their prices are getting a little out of hand here. But these people do not realize that you are blue collar brands. You have blue collar customers, and blue collar customers can't afford $70,000 naturally aspirated dark horse Mustangs, let alone a $55,000 GT Mustang that has like only 3 options on there, right? You got an automatic transmission, $1,500. You got the performance pack. I forgot how much it was. I spec'd it out right here. $55,000 for really 3 options, right? You really only have an automatic transmission, a red car. For some reason, I've been liking red a lot lately. And then you got what, the GT performance pack, and you also got the where's the other option I put on there? Was the GT high equipment group. So really 3 options, and it's almost $60,000. And I mean, like I said, let's not forget that just a few years ago, you used to be able to get a 700 horsepower Challenger Hellcat narrow body for $60,000. And now 500 horsepower, well, really 450 horsepower, because that's what the GT is. A 450 horsepower Mustang is in the same price category. Ford, you done lost your ever-loving mind. And even Motor One asked Ford about the pricing, and I quote, let me see, let me go back to that article. Let me look back over here. All right, okay, here we go. I got it pulled up right here. But yeah, I'm gonna quote Joe, I think his name is Joe Bellino. I think his name is Joe Bellino. He's a Ford Mustang brand manager, and he says that he does not think that prices are an issue on the Ford Mustang. And he says that we are in a sweet spot, he said, pointing out that there are very few options left for a front-engined 2-door sports car turning the rear wheels only, which, I mean, I'm going to agree with him that, yeah, but you know, just because you are the only option out there from the big 3 does not mean that you raise prices because customers don't have a choice. And now Ford, you guys see that customers do have a choice by not buying the Mustang anymore, giving it the worst sales year ever. Like that just shows you how stupid these guys are at Ford. You lose your entire field of competition. 3 models get dropped out of the market, and you still have your worst sales year ever. Now, I was looking around on the Ford forums, and their own customers are saying the exact same thing. And a few things that I picked up from reading the forums is there aren't many changes from the S550 to the S650 Mustang, right? You have people who are saying that there's really not that much change between the S550 and the S650 Mustang. And people don't see the reason to upgrade and spend all this extra money for essentially the same exact car. I mean, if your own customers are saying that, you know, prices are too high, you have the worst sales history in 60 years. The Mustang been out for 60 years. And this is literally the worst year ever in 60 years. The Challenger, the Charger, and the Camaro all get gone in the same exact year, leaving you with an entire market by yourself. And you still have the worst sales year ever. I mean, come on, you got a pricing problem here, people. Like, it's not rocket science. I mean, Elon Musk is good for rocket science, and you guys are not Elon Musk. Even he is dropping the prices of Teslas across the board to where you guys are really making no sense. Like, you can literally buy a cheap little Tesla Model 3 Performance and just slap the same style Mustang for literally the same money and get a lot more bang for your buck out of the cars. So, I mean, it's just freaking crazy just going through a lot of these comments. Like I said, I'll just scroll to some of these suckers and you'll basically see that, you know, a lot of people are saying the same thing, that pricing, this car cannot be considered a new model, but a refresh with all those reused parts. It is a huge price increase. The screens, the strange touch buttons instead of airplane switches, the hundreds of S550 reused interior parts, the downgrade of ambient lights, and the lack of tuning, and also your daily life got more expensive. I mean, you got a lot of people complaining, and these are actual Ford customers. They're saying literally the same thing. These suckers are way too expensive. As already mentioned, here's a few factors in my opinion. The Mustang is no longer a best bang for your buck car. It outpriced itself. Minimum changes from the S550 to the S650 at first glance. Weird style choices to some. I still can't get over the new look, including poorly designed screens that no one wanted, and loss of faith for the brand, and Ford recall numbers are some of the worst in the industry. Like I said, these are Ford customers, so these are not like me being a Dodge fanboy or a Chevy fanboy commenting on this. These are actual freaking Ford customers. But I mean, come on, man. Let's see, I've been a Ford Mustang owner for the past 31 years and consider myself a Ford enthusiast. I talked to a few Mustang friends throughout the year who are decades-long enthusiasts, and like I am, and overall I see people who don't like the prices, the quote-unquote all-new S650, the auto start stop, the lack of tuning, the screens, the prices, and I guess the gear ratios and the transmission. So I mean, like I said, you got customers of actual Ford who's been here for decades all saying the same thing. Ford, you are playing yourselves by pricing your customers out of the market. And I'm gonna tell you guys this right now, Ford, you better hope that now that Carlos Tavares, the former CEO of Stellantis, is now gone. You better hope that these guys at Dodge don't get their act together and revive a V8 Charger 2-door and a 4-door, and hope that is not on the horizon. Because if Dodge prices the Charger about $10,000 cheaper than the Mustang, Ford, you are in serious doo-doo in the next year or two. If someone is going to say that it is impossible that the Charger is going to be $10,000 cheaper than a Mustang, I'm going to give you a prime example of one vehicle right now that Ram intentionally priced below Ford. Now, if you look at the cost of the Ram RHO, the inline 6 vehicle, and compare that to the cost of the Ford V6 Raptor, that is almost $10,000 cheaper. That's just between the RHO and the Raptor. If Dodge gets their act together and intentionally prices the Charger, not the Charger Daytona, but the actual Charger ICE cars below the Ford cars, oh, Ford, you are in trouble. I mean, Ford, you should have been incentivizing and throwing incentives on a regular Mustang to snatch customers from both Chevy and Dodge, but you pretty much wet the bed. Now Dodge smells the blood in the water because they still have not released the prices for the gas-powered 2-door and the 4-door cars. I'm just saying, Ford, you got some time to get yourself get your act together, right? You can go and throw incentives on these cars to start moving units, because this is literally embarrassing how a company has 0 people left in the market. You're the last one standing, but then you have the worst selling year in the history of this car. Just saying. But let me know what you guys think. Did Ford fumble the bag by not pricing the Mustang lower to capture the pissed off customers from Dodge and the customers who, you know, no longer had the option of buying a Chevy Camaro? Would the Mustang rebound, or would Dodge put the final nail in the coffin for the Mustang when they start making the Charger fun again with all these gasoline options that Dodge is not ruling out that a V8 might jump back into the car? And let me know what you guys think. And until the next time, I'm out.